The movie Viceroy's House is a period drama that explores the story behind the partition of India in the years after World War II. It's directed by Indian-British filmmaker Gurinder Chadha, who says she wanted to use her role to challenge what's been written in the history books.
I am to be the last Viceroy of India, and I shall carry out the role with great pride.
Viceroy's House is set in 1947 during the partition of India. Lord Mountbatten is tasked with overseeing the transition from British colonial rule to independence and the creation of Pakistan. Gillian Anderson plays Edwina Mountbatten, the Viceroy who's known for her humanitarian work during those turbulent times.
I knew absolutely nothing about Edwina Mountbatten before I decided to do this film, and so all of it was an education, and so it was reading lots of books, also books about the history of India that I didn't know, and watching videos, and it was a full-on cramming session.
More than 1 million people died during this period. The movie's director, Gurinder Chadha, says the traditional narrative indicates partition came about because Indians were fighting among themselves.
We are brothers with one soul. To divide us on religious grounds is against the will of God.
But she believes this is a one-sided interpretation. She places much of the blame on a British policy of divide and rule, saying it pitted Hindus against Muslims.
I wanted to challenge the historical narrative of partition and independence, the last days of the Raj. I wanted to challenge the way I'd been taught it at school based on the evidence that I had come across in my research. I had found a completely different historical narrative of why partition happened. So how was I going to tell that story? I didn't want to do a sort of dry documentary type film for experts. I wanted to make a hugely accessible populist film, because this was me being able to tell my history in my own words as a British Asian person.
Chanda is well known for films like Bend It Like Beckham and Baji on the Beach. She believes the message from Viceroy's House is poignant in today's world.
I think the film is a timely reminder of what happens when politicians and leaders start using divide and rule and division amongst us, and criminalising certain groups and pitting them against others for their own political gain. Because eventually it leads to violence and it leads to death, and that actually doesn't serve anybody in the end.
Without peace, all other dreams vanish and are reduced to ashes.
Viceroy's House will bring a new perspective of this history to theatres in the UK and Ireland starting on Friday.
We came to give India back her freedom, not to tear her apart.